Welcome back to the ballpark at KC Commons for game number 2 of our Region 14 doubleheader. It's the Kilgore College Rangers hosting Northeast Texas Community College's Eagles. Game number 1 of the doubleheader went the way of the Eagles as the Eagles defeated the Rangers by a score of 7-2. Getting the win in the game was Shelby Seaberry. She improved her record to 3-3 for Northeast Texas, and for Kilgore taking the loss, it was Casey Bingham. Bingham's mark falls to 1-5 on the season. Make it 1-6 on the season. So game number 2 about ready to get started with Northeast Texas coming to bat. Presley Lynn Barasa will lead it off. She's the designated player. Hitting number 2 will be Maya Perdue, the left fielder. In the number 3 spot, it is Lillian Barasa. Barasa, the catcher. And hitting number 4 will be Alyssa Maynor, the right fielder. Here's the first pitch to Barasa, and that'll be popped up in foul territory, left field side. In the circle for Kilgore College to start game number 2, it will be Abigail Curfey. So Abigail Curfey in the lineup for game number 2 for Kilgore College. Right-handed pitcher is ahead in the count at 0-1. Abigail, a sophomore out of Orange, Texas. Here's the next pitch, and that is going to be a strike call. Catch in the outside part of the plate, and that'll make the count at 0-2 to the hitter, Barasa. That's Presley Lynn Barasa, the hitter for Northeast Texas Community College. Here's the wind and the delivery, and that's going to be a shot that'll go into left center field for the base hit. Presley Lynn rounding first, steaming for second, and she'll end up with a stand-up double to lead it off for Northeast Texas. So two-bagger by Presley Lynn Barasa gets the game going for Northeast Texas. And now Maya Perdue will come to bat. Perdue, a freshman for Northeast Texas, who had a good ball game in game number 1. Perdue ended up with 3 hits in the ball game. Reached base 4 times. That first pitch gets by the catcher for Kilgore College. And the game number 2's catcher is Lauren Minitree. So that's going to be a count of 0-1. This is going to be a shot that will go into center field for the base hit. Rounding third and coming home to score is Barasa as it is bobbled by Newville. And that'll make the 1-0 score, 1-0 for Northeast Texas Community College. I want to check a number out there. I might have had something either not reported correctly or wrote something down the wrong way. I'll have to double check that to make sure, but Northeast Texas comes up with a 1-0 lead. And next pitch comes in as a ball to Lillian Barasa. So Presley Lynn Barasa ended up scoring. Perdue reaching base on a single. There's a pop-up that's going to go into the netting and out of play. Let's set the Kilgore defense for you for game number 2 of the doubleheader. Abigail Curfey in the circle behind the plate, Lauren Minitree. At first base for Kilgore College, it's Katrina Morphus. At second base, Jordan Andrade. The shortstop is Alyssa Baxter. And at third base, it will be Brianna Theus. In the outfield for Kilgore, left to right, Newville in left. Ramirez in center, there's Julissa Ramirez. And the right fielder is Jasmine Gallegos. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be popped up by Lillian Barasa out of play over the backstop. So I misidentified the fielder, the center fielder, who tried to get to the ball. That would have been Julissa Ramirez. And now we're up to date on everything. The hitter up is Lillian Barasa. That pitch will miss outside. It's a full count, 3-2. So Perdue, we will give her a single on that, even though it was bobbled by Ramirez. That was already a base hit. And then the run scoring. 1-0 lead for Northeast Texas. And that's going to be Lillian Barraza with a shot in the left field, but nicely done. Caught by Newville for out number 2. But tagging up and heading to second is going to be Maya Pardue. So a sacrifice fly to the left field for Barraza for out number 2. Pardue already has a single and an RBI and is standing at second base. So here is Alyssa Maynard now for Northeast Texas Community College. 1-0 lead for NTCC. And that pitch will just miss high. 1-0 the count with 1 out in the inning. So Presley Lynn Barraza with a leadoff double scores on a single by Pardue. Lillian Barraza with a sacrifice fly, moving Pardue over to second. Pitch by Curfew to Maynard. Maynard will foul this one back off the netting. And that'll put the count straight up at 1-1. There's a strike call, and that'll make it now 1-2 the count. That pitch will miss low, and the count will now go to 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that'll be fouled off the backstop, so the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Curfew with the wind and the delivery. Swing and a miss! And that is out number 2 as Maynard goes down on strikes. First strikeout of the ball game for Curfew, and here comes Finn Cannon, the third baseman. Kirsten Finn Cannon. First pitch to Finn Cannon, off speed, and that'll just miss. 1-0 is the count to Kirsten Finn Cannon. Here's the next delivery by Curfew to Finn Cannon, and that'll miss low. And the count is now 2 balls and no strikes. That's going to be a foul back off the backstop. So 2-1 is our count now with 2 down. Finn Cannon, a right-handed hitter. That pitch is going to miss. Count now goes to 3-1, so Curfew needing to find her groove right now. Rangers at 5-10 coming into this ball game. Northeast Texas at 3-12. Those are conference records. Finn Cannon will pop this one up. It'll go left field side, foul out of play. So the count is full at 3 balls and 2 strikes now. 2 down in the inning, top of the first. 1-0 lead for Northeast Texas. Here's the wind and the delivery, and that's going to be another pop-up by Finn Cannon. This is going to end up going out of play yet again behind the Kilgore dugout. So the count still holds at 3-2. There's a tie at the top in the South Division in Region 14. Blinn and Alvin tied with 12-4 conference records. Lead in the North, Trinity Valley at 11-1. Paris is 11-3. Games were rained out yesterday. That's going to be a shot that'll go into center field. Ramirez will let the second baseman come out and make the grab. That's Andrade. That'll be a pop out to second by Finn Cannon. and that will end up retiring the side. So after a leadoff double and an RBI single, Kirby settles down and gets 3 outs in a row. But for Northeast Texas, in the top of the first inning, the Eagles get 1 run on 2 hits, no Kilgore errors, and 1 runner left on base. So half an inning in the books, and Northeast Texas with the early lead. It's NTCC 1 and Kilgore nothing. We will come back after this timeout. You are listening to and watching Kilgore College Softball on the KC Sports Network.
Passing the competition by leaps and bounds. The team of world-class specialists at Christus Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute are experts in caring for bones, joints, and muscles. In addition to treatment, they also provide special programs designed to keep you in optimal shape and improve athletic performance. So whether you're a student athlete or a weekend warrior, they'll keep you at the top of your game. Christus Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute, taking orthopedic care a step further.
And here we go, heading to the bottom of the first inning from Kilgore. It's 1-0 Northeast Texas with the lead. Here's the Kilgore batting lineup. Alyssa Baxter will lead it off, the shortstop. Hitting second will be Lexi Barr. Barr, the designated player. The number 3 hitter is Katrina Morphus, the first baseman. In the cleanup spot will be Lauren Minitry, the catcher. Hitting number 5 will be Brianna Theus. Theus playing third base, followed by Mary Newville, the left fielder, hitting number 6. The number 7 hitter is Julissa Ramirez, the center fielder. Jordan Andrade, the second baseman at number 8. Jasmine Gallegos, the 9th place hitter, is the right fielder for Kilgore. And that's the batting lineup, and they are going against Northeast Texas pitcher Casey Jones. So Baxter leading it off. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be a ball. The count is at 1-0 to Baxter. And that next pitch, it's going to be popped up off the backstop, and your count will be squared away now at a ball and a strike. In the bottom of the first inning from Kilgore. There's a bunt laid down by Baxter right in front of the plate. The throw over to first, and that's going to be in time for out number 1. That's a nice retrieval by the NTCC catcher, Lillian Barasa, to get it over to first for out number 1. So Baxter will go down in essence 2-3, and the next hitter will be Lexi Barr, the designated player. Lexi Barr in game number 1 ended up with a single and also was hit by pitch in the contest and a pop out. So foul off the backstop makes it 0-1 the count. Barr on the season is .214 for Kilgore. No home runs, has a couple of RBIs. Even count of 1-1 now to Lexi Barr. Here's the next delivery, and that one will be a strike to make it a ball and 2 strikes. So the pitcher again for Northeast Texas is Casey Jones with a 7.51 ERA. Now the conference stats have her as a 0-8 record this season. This is her 15th appearance. That misses to make the count 2-2. She has started 4 games now, starting this game, has 1 complete game, pitching 36 in the 3rd inning. Here's the next pitch, and that's going to be a swing and a miss by Barr. That one was low and out of the zone. And so Barr strikes out. That makes it 2 down in the inning. Casey Jones, 36 in the 3rd inning, giving it 58 hits and 48 runs, 39 were earned. Walking 17, striking out now 16 with that. Has given up a couple of home runs, 3 wild pitches, and 3 hit batsmen. There is a bouncer by Morphus to second, over to first, and that will retire the side. So Morphus goes down 4-3, and that will end the inning. That was a very easy chance for the second baseman for Northeast Texas, Seabury. So for Kilgore, nothing across in the bottom of the first inning. We have played 1 complete inning from Kilgore, and it is 1-0 Northeast Texas with the lead over Kilgore College. We'll come back with more after this on the Kilgore College Sports Network. And here we go. It's the top of the second inning, and Kilgore College is trailing Northeast Texas 1-0 as we go to inning number 2. For Northeast Texas, we'll see Conley Zachary leading it off the shortstop, followed by Shelby Seabury, second baseman, who is the winning pitcher in game number 1. And then after that will be Remington Medor at first base. So Curfew's first pitch is a ball to Zachary. As we go into the top of the second inning, there's a foul back by Zachary, and that'll put the count even at a ball and a strike. So Zachary, Seabury, and Medor. Zachary in game number 1 of the doubleheader. Walked twice, had a couple of stolen bases in the ball game. 2-1 the count now on a close pitch. Called in favor of Zachary as a ball. 1-0 lead for Northeast Texas. Here's the wind and the delivery. And that is going to just miss inside. 3-1. Below the knees. So Curfew getting some support from the Kilgore faithful. Here's the delivery. Swing and a miss by Zachary. And the count goes now to 3-2. Come on, Curve. And the last time we had the opportunity to watch the Rangers play, Curfew did a good job in the ball game. There's a foul out of play. Count still holds at 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Zachary leading it off here in the top of the second inning for the Eagles. Here's the delivery by Curfew. And that off-speed pitch misses high, ball 4. And Zachary draws the walk to lead off the second inning. First walk issued by Curfew. Last time we were able to have a home broadcast for you, it was back on March the 28th, where Kilgore split a doubleheader with Tyler. All-speed pitch by Curfew comes in for a strike. That count is 0-1 now. The next pitch comes in for a strike as well, making it 0-2. In that game number 2 win over Tyler Junior College, Curfew pitched the entire ball game. 8 hits, 7 runs, 5 were earned, walked 2, and struck out 4. As Kilgore ended up defeating TJC in that game 11-7. Pitch is outside, making it 1-2. Kilgore split a doubleheader with Bossier Parish on Wednesday. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be a pop-up foul by Seabury, and that'll go out of play, banging on the roof of the third base Kilgore dugout. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Kilgore defeated the Cavaliers 5-3 in game 1, but lost 2-0 in game 2 in Bossier City. And that is going to be a pop-up again. It'll go back behind the catcher. And the grab is made for the out by Lauren Minitre. So Seabury pops out to the catcher. And that is going to be out number 1 of the inning, with Zachary still at first. Out to bat now, Remington Medor playing first base. Here's the delivery by Curfew. That one missing high and outside, 1-0 the count. So Medor came on as a pinch hitter in game 1 of the doubleheader. Ended up with a single. She was 1 for 2 in the game, in her stint in the game, I should say. There is a strike, and that's going to be a count of 1-1 now. That pitch will miss 2-1. As Curfew was just off the mark. Here's the delivery by Kerf. And that one will just break outside to make it 3-1. There's a bouncer. Oh, nice job by Baxter to get out at second for one. The relay to first not in time. So could not turn the double play, but there's 2 down now. So Zachary gets forced out 6-4. But Metter ended up making it to first on the fielder's choice. So 2 down now on the force out. And here is Camacho, and there's a strike going 1 the count to Sarah Cruz Camacho. Number 9 hitter in the order for Northeast Texas. So Metter's at first. Here's the pitch by Curfew. Missing outside. The count evens up at 1-1. Curfew wearing the face mask and some sunglasses. There's a pop-up, and it will be fielded by Theus as she came in to make the play to retire the side. So Camacho pops up to third in fair territory to end the inning. Actually, it was just in foul territory. But Northeast Texas, no runs, no base hits, no errors for Kilgore. 1 runner left on base. So an inning and a half in the books from Kilgore. 1-0, Northeast Texas with a lead over the Kilgore Rangers. We'll come back with more after this on the Kilgore College Sports Network. Stay with us for more Ranger Athletics. We have some more stuff coming up for you this afternoon from the ballpark at KC Commons.
This is what we've been waiting for. At the
All right, here we go into the bottom of the second inning. 1-0 lead for Northeast Texas. Lauren Minitry is up to bat. First pitch comes in as a strike from Casey Jones. Here's the next delivery by Jones, the left-hander, and there's a shot in a center field for the base hit. Bobbled and picked up by Camacho, and Minitry will end up with a single. That's a hard shot up the gut for the base hit. And so here we go. The Rangers get the leadoff runner in the top of the second. And here is Theus, the third baseman. Brianna Theus for Kilgore. Did not play in game 1 of the doubleheader. And the first pitch to Brianna comes in as a strike, 0-1 the count. Theus is a freshman from Marshall, Texas. Listed as third baseman, first baseman for KC. Here's the next delivery. Theus shows bunt. And that'll miss. 1-1 is the count now. So 1-1 the count to Brianna Theus. Here's the next offering. And it's 2-1. Amber Williams, Kilgore's head coach, before coming over to coach the Rangers, was the head coach at Marshall High School. And on the Ranger roster, a couple of young ladies from Marshall on there. Theus, and then also Lauren Minitry.
Good job, Bree.
So Theus is able to get the runner advanced over to second, but is out. There's the first out of the inning. So up to bat, Mary Newville now for Kilgore College. And Newville will smack one up the middle into center field for the base hit. Minitree will hold up at third. Newville ends up with a single. So, Minitree singled. Thea sacrificed her to second. And then Newville singled, moving Minitree over to third. So runners at the corners for Kilgore with one down. And here is Julissa Ramirez, the center fielder. Trying to knot the ball game here. Showing bunt. And then Newville's going to be caught in a rundown. She went too far off the base, and now she slides in head first, gets her jersey dirty. Minitree, I think what was going on, of course, is that Seabury, the second baseman, was looking to see if Minitree was going to go. Was Kilgore going to try a double steal? The Rangers did not, and so Newville's able to slide back into first safely. 1-0 the count, and Ramirez lays down a bunt. And it goes foul, just foul. That was a beautiful dead ball, but it was alive enough to roll foul, so that makes it an even count of 1-1 with one down. Bottom of the second inning. 1-0 lead for Northeast Texas. On deck it will be Jordan Andrade for Kilgore. 1-1, the count with one down. Here's the next pitch to Julissa, and that one will be a shot that goes into the glove of the second baseman and the right field. The base hit, and the Rangers have tied the ball game. Ramirez ends up with a single and an RBI. Minitree scores from third base, excuse me. Newville goes on over to second. There we go. We're all straight, and we're tied at 1. One down in the inning. First pitch coming in to Andrade is a ball. 1-0 is the count. So you have runners at first and second for Kilgore. Here's the next pitch. Into the ground, and ball bounces away from the catcher, Barasa, and the runners move up. Newville's over to third with good speed. Ramirez with good speed at second now. So 2 balls, no strikes to the hitter, Jordan Andrade. Here's the wind and the delivery. That one comes in for a strike, and it's now 2-1. 1-1 contest here in the bottom of the second inning. Here's the next pitch, and that's going to be a bunt. Foul. Count goes to 2-2. Rangers scoring earlier in this one. Kilgore did not get a run until the 4th inning when they scored 2 in game number 1 of the doubleheader. By then they were down 3-2 at that point. Next pitch just misses inside. The count goes to 3-2. So 3 balls, 2 strikes to Jordan Andrade with one down. Rangers have runners at second and third. And Andrade will get this one into right field, and it ends up going foul. Well, right idea, great idea by Jordan Andrade. Just happened to go foul. So 3 balls, 2 strikes to Andrade now with one down. Here's the wind and the delivery. And Andrade gets a hold of this one. However, it'll hold up and be caught in center field for the out. Taking up and coming home to score is Newville. And the Rangers have the lead at 2-1. So Andrade ends up with a sacrifice fly to center field. But Newville comes home to from third to score on the sac fly. And Kilgore has its first lead of the doubleheader at 2-1 with 2 down in the bottom of the second inning. And here is Jasmine Gallegos now for the Rangers. So left-hander Casey Jones finding some struggles here in the second inning after getting a 3-of-3 down first inning. Here's the delivery by Jones. That's going to be a ball low. 1-0 is the count to Gallegos. Gallegos, who pitched in relief in game one, is a sophomore out of Jacksonville, Texas. Here's the next delivery. Missing high, 2-0 the count. Rangers would love to get a split of this doubleheader and try to keep pace with Navarro, entering in 5th place, 2 games behind the Bulldogs in the standings. That's going to be a pop-up by Gallegos in the center field. Camacho will make the grab, and that will retire the side. But the Rangers do some damage here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Kilgore picks up 2 runs, and the Rangers do it on 3 base hits. No errors, and 1 runner left on base. So we have played 2 complete innings from Kilgore. It's the Rangers 2 and Northeast Texas 1. We'll come back after we take this break. It is Kilgore College softball on the KC Sports Network. As we head now to the top of the 3rd inning with a 2-1 Kilgore lead. The first batter is the top of the order, Presilin Barasa, and she fouls it off the backstop. 0-1 the count. Barasa led off the game with a double. Ended up scoring to give Northeast Texas the 1-0 lead early on. Next delivery, and that is going to be a strike, and that'll make the count at 0-2. Nice off-speed pitch that time by Abigail Curfey. So 0-2 the count to Barasa, hitting from the left-hand side, and she's going to pop this one up, left field side foul, and it will be out of play. Newville cannot catch up to it, so the count holds at 0-2. So 0-2 the count. Here's the wind and the delivery. And that one is going to miss, just low and away. 1-2 to Barasa. So it's the top of the order again. Presilin Barasa, Maya Pardue, and then Lillian Barasa for Northeast Texas. 2-1 lead for Kilgore. Here's the delivery. And that's going to be a shot that'll end up being in the foul territory, and Newville cannot catch up to it. So the count holds at a ball and 2 strikes. So the Rangers 13-34 overall. Here's the delivery. 5-10 in the conference. That's a slow roller. That'll be picked up. The throw to first is not in time. Anything sounded like a broken bat, that did. They're going to give Barasa the infield single, however. So that'll bring up Pardue. So now Presilin Barasa is 0 for 2. Here's Pardue coming to the plate. And that is going to be ball 1. Here's the next delivery on the way. And that's going to be a bunt. And nice play to be able to tag out Pardue running over to first. That's a nice job by Katrina Morphus, the first baseman. So that'll be 3 unassisted. Barasa ends up going over to second on the sack bunt. So one down, Barasa over at second. Pardue is the out, and then Lillian Barasa will come up to bat. Sacrifice fly back in the first inning. First pitch swinging, pops this one up. Andrade just into the outfield will make the grab for out number 2 at second base. So 2 outs now with a runner at second, and here comes Alyssa Maynor, the right fielder. Maynor hitting from the right-hand side, striking out back in the first inning, her first time up. Here's the pitch to Alyssa, and she's going to pop this one up, and it'll just get over Baxter and into left center field for the base hit. Barasa will come home to score, and Northeast Texas regains the lead at 3, rather ties the game, at 2 apiece. So Maynor ends up with a single. Barasa ends up coming home to score, and we're tied at 2. In the top of the third inning. First pitch comes in, misses, 1-0 the count. To the next hitter, which is Finn Cannon. Kirsten Finn Cannon. Righty against righty here. Curfew against Finn Cannon. Here's the next pitch. And Finn Cannon will stroke this one in the left field. Newville will get chased toward the fence. And that one is over the fence for a home run by Kirsten Finn Cannon. It's her 5th home run of the year. She leads the teams in home runs. Finn Cannon with a 2-run Jimmy Jack. And Northeast Texas ends up with a 4-2 lead now. So 3 runs in this inning by the Eagles to take a 4-2 lead over Kilgore with 2 down. So a 2-run homer by Finn Cannon will bring up Zachary now for the Eagles. Zachary walked in the second inning, ended up being forced out. First pitch misses, ball 1. 4-2 lead for Northeast Texas. Here's the next pitch to Conley Zachary, coming up by Curfew, the right-hander. And that comes in for a strike, and that'll even it up at 1-1. 1-1 the count to Zachary, the wine, the delivery. Missing high. And that'll make the count of 2 balls and 1 strike. Curfew looks into the glove. Takes a wind and delivers. And that's going to catch the inside part of the plate for a count of 2-2 with 2 down. And that win over Tyler, where Curfew went the distance. Curfew was doing a great job of placing her pitches in the contest. Did a good job there. So 2s are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down in the top of the third inning. And a swing and a miss by Zachary. And that'll retire the side. That's the second strikeout of the ball game for Curfew. However, Northeast Texas grabs the lead. 3 runs for the Eagles in the top of the third inning. And the Eagles end up doing it on 3 base hits. The big one was a 2-run homer by Finn Cannon. No Kilgore errors and nobody left on base. So we have played 2.5 innings from Kilgore, and it is 4-2. Northeast Texas with a lead over Kilgore. Let's take this break. It's Kilgore College softball on the KC Sports Network. And we head to the bottom of the third inning. Kilgore College down 4-2. The first pitch to the Ranger hitter up, which is the top of the order. Alyssa Baxter is a ball, 1-0 the count. Casey Jones, a left-hander next offering, is a swing and a miss by Baxter to even up the count at 1-1. That's going to be a foul by Baxter off the backstop. And that puts the count now to ball and 2 strikes. 4-2 lead for Northeast Texas. The delivery by Jones. Baxter will bounce it foul. Third base side. That holds the count at a ball and 2 strikes. Baxter will loft this one up into left field and is going to drop in for a base hit. So Baxter with a soft floater that drops in for a single. So Baxter now 1 for 2 in the ball game. So the leadoff runner is on for Kilgore. And here's Lexi Barr, the designated player. Struck out her first time up. But Lexi will have another opportunity here to do something for Kilgore. Barr hitting from the right-hand side. Here's the delivery. Swing and a miss by Barr. Count is at 0-1. And that's going to be a bunt by Barr. And it goes dead right in front of the plate. The throw to first is not in time. What a beautiful bunt by Lexi Barr. So the Rangers, with nobody out, have runners at first and second now. Barr laying down the bunt, ends up being more than the sacrifice, but an infield single now. And here is Katrina Morphus, the first baseman. Have a mound visit by the coach for Northeast Texas, Denise Tyson. So a quick break in the action. The Rangers down 4-2 after giving up 3 runs in the top of the third inning in Northeast Texas. And now we'll see what the Rangers can do here. All right, so everybody retreats to their respective places for the most part. Coach Tyson making the walk back to the first base dugout. And some more encouragement for Casey Jones. 4-2 lead for Northeast Texas. We're in the bottom of the third inning. But the Rangers, with nobody out, have runners at first and second for Katrina Morphus, the first baseman for Kilgore. Here's the delivery. And that's going to be a ball. I want to know the count to Katrina Morphus. Sunny day here in Kilgore. Game time temperature was mild. It's going to be a bunt that'll end up being a foul by Morphus. Sunny skies and 71 degrees, 72 degrees. Feels a bit warmer. There's a little bit of a breeze once in a while. Here's the wind and the delivery, and that's Morphus. Will bounce it, and that'll be a foul ball. Almost went over the bag at first, which would have been a great shot to go down the right field line. Instead, it's ruled foul. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Morphus. Coach Williams having a discussion with the base umpire. And then she's pointing back at the dugout. I'm not sure what's going on. All right, not sure if something was said from the Kilgore dugout or what. It would just be a supposition on my part. So play continues, and that's going to be a shot up into the middle of the center field for the base hit. Rounding third, and coming home to score is Baxter, and the Rangers make it a 1-run game at 4-3. Baxter comes home to score. Stopping at second is Barr, and Morphus comes up with an RBI single. Rangers down 4-3 with nobody out in the bottom of the third inning. Here's the delivery by Jones. That's going to be a strike to Lauren Minitree. Minitree 1 for 1, a single in the second inning, ended up scoring a run in that inning. So 4-3, the Rangers down by a run. Here's the next delivery, and Minitree fouls it out of play. Next pitch coming in at Minitree, and that is going to miss. Ball and 2 strikes to Lauren. Off-speed pitch misses just high and inside to make the count even at 2-2. All the Rangers here with a good crowd today. It's a Sunday afternoon game. Yesterday, the scheduled doubleheader was postponed due to rain, so people out on a comfortable Sunday afternoon. That's a foul ball toward the first base dugout. The count is at 2-2, and a wonderful crowd. It seems like all the bleachers here are pretty full, especially, of course, the ones that are covered, protecting people from the sun. 2-2 now to Minitree. Here's the wind and the delivery. Missing high. Count goes full at 3-2. Minitree hitting for the right-hand side against the left-hander Casey Jones for Northeast. Here's the wind and the delivery. And Minitree sort of golfed at that one. Goes foul, third base side, so now the count is full at 3-2. Well, the Rangers have a run in scoring position. They can tie the ball game with a base hit by Minitree. Trying to get her second hit of the game. Here's the pitch on the way. And Minitree fouls that one out of play. First base side. So the count still holds at 3-2. Here's the pitch. Minitree gets this one by short and into short left field. So it's station to station softball. Barr had to stop at third, Morphus at second, and then Minitree, we'll call it a C&I single at first base. Got just underneath the shortstop for Northeast Texas. That was a nice effort by Conley Zachary, but she couldn't come up with it. All right, so here's Brianna Theus, who had a sacrifice fly, or a sacrifice ground out back in the second inning. That's going to be a strike coming in. So the bases are full for the Rangers. Barr's at third, Morphus at second, Minitree at first. Nobody out for Kilgore in the bottom of the third inning. One run already in for the Rangers. Here's the pitch. That one's into the ground. That'll make the count even at a ball and a strike. Thea steps back into the batter's box. The right-handed hitter out of Marshall. Jones looks at the wristband. Twisting the ball in her left hand, and time is called. Umpire tells everybody to get back and play. Here we go. Here's the delivery. Into the ground. Count goes to 2-1. Two balls and a strike. Pitch. Into the ground again. 3-1. Does not get far enough for any of the runners to advance. The bases are loaded, so there's no way Barr could score from third cleanly. So 3-1 with nobody out. Big opportunity for Kilgore to tie or take the lead. Bottom of the third. Here's the pitch by Jones. Inside, ball 4, and the run scores. Theus will get an RBI on the base on balls. Barr will come home from third to score, and we're tied at 4 apiece. And I think we're going to have a pitching change here as Casey Jones is giving things up to the next hurler coming up. Morphs will be at third, Minitry at second, and Theus at first. And I think that is going to be Sawyer Strange, who's coming in to pitch now for Northeast Texas. Want to try to double check the number on the jersey. Yep, that is 1-3. That is Sawyer Strange. So Strange comes on to pitch, replacing Casey Jones. So we have a reliever for Northeast Texas. It's a 4-4 ball game. The Rangers had the bases loaded with nobody out in the bottom of the third inning. So while Strange takes her warm-ups, let's take a quick break here on the Kilgore College Sports Network.
This is what we've been waiting for. At the dawn of forevermore, we can stand on this ground so
Whether it is in our drive-thru or in our dining room, it'll always be our pleasure at Chick-fil-A to give you the best dining experience possible.
All right, up to bat, Mary Newville now for Kilgore with nobody out and the bases loaded. The Rangers with 2 runs in this inning to tie the game at 2. And on to pitch Sawyer Strange, a sophomore for Northeast Texas. First pitch is going to miss. 1-0 is the count now to Newville. Newville with a single and a run scored back in the second inning. Here's the next pitch on the way. Just missing. Outside, making it 2-0. Strange giving a double look at that to make sure the call was correct. Checking the wristband. Here's the delivery. That's going to be a pop-up by Newville in the infield. And the out is made by Seabury on the catch for out number 2. So Newville pops out to second. That's the second out of the ball game. Oh, the bottom of the third inning, excuse me. And now coming up to bat, Lisa Ramirez, a center fielder. Single and an RBI back in the second inning. And the plate's full here for Ramirez to try to do it again. Here's the wind and the delivery. That's going to be a strike. Nice pitch by Strange. 0-1 the count. Next pitch coming in to Jolisa. That'll miss, and the count will be even at a ball and a strike. Sawyer Strange is 1-6 on the season with a 5.49 ERA. She comes in with the game tied at 4. Started Casey Jones, allowed the game to get to 4-all. Bounced it to short, cheating up was the second baseman, Seabury. I said bounce it to short as the second base, Seabury, and she's able to get the out at home, the force out, as Morphus is forced out, trying to come home. That'll be out number 2. Minitry will go over to third, Theus to second, and then Ramirez ends up at first on the fielder's choice. Here comes Jordan Andrade to the bat. Sacrifice fly with an RBI back in the second inning. That one's into the ground, inside, 1-0 the count. Here's the next pitch coming up. Missing high, the count goes to 2-0 with 2 down. So we're tied at 4, and the Rangers have a chance to grab the lead here with Andrade at the plate and the bases loaded. There's a shot that'll go into center field for the base hit. Coming home to score is Minitry, and the Rangers lead at 5-4. So Andrade with an RBI single. Ramirez is at second. Andrade is at first. Diaz is at third. First pitch misses by Strange. 1-0 the count to Jasmine Gallegos with a fly out to center field in the second inning. So the Rangers have the lead now, 5-4. Pitch is fouled off the backstop by Gallegos to make the count even at 1-1. Strange with the wind and the delivery. There's a strike called to make it a ball and 2 strikes now on Gallegos. Again, the Rangers number 5 in the North Division right now. Northeast Texas is number 7. Top 4 teams get into the regional tournament. That pitch just missing inside, making it a 2-2 count. Have to finish in the top 4 in your division to get to the regional tournament. The Rangers coming in, we're 2 games behind Navarro coming into today's action. Here's the pitch. And that one missing inside makes the count at 3-2 now. So the Rangers at 5-10 after the game 1 loss to Northeast Texas. So a split here would definitely be a big help to them. 3-2 the count. Here's the delivery on the way. And Gallegos fouls it, first base side. So the count remains the same with 3 balls and 2 strikes. Kilgore 5, Northeast Texas 4, bottom of the 3rd inning. Here comes the delivery. And that's going to be a bouncer. Gloved at third by Fincanish. She'll step on the bag to beat the runner there to retire the side. So Gallegos goes down 5 unassisted, and that will end the inning. So Kilgore batted around 9 batters for Kilgore in the 3rd inning, and the Rangers played 3 runs to take the lead. 3 runs for Kilgore on 5 base hits, and all of the Ranger base hits were singles. No errors by Northeast Texas, but Kilgore leaves the bases stranded. Actually, Kilgore would have left 2 runners on base. 1 was forced out. So we have played 3 complete innings for the ballpark at Casey Commons. 5-4. Kilgore with the lead over Northeast Texas. We'll come back after this break on the Kilgore College Sports Network.
All across East Texas and around the world, former Kilgore College students are working hard for their best life. They're building a brighter future. They're moving in the right direction. They're in powerful positions. And they're superheroes protecting and serving. If you're ready to work for your best life, put Kilgore College to work for you.
All right, back to action here as Northeast Texas comes to bat in the top of the 4th inning, trailing 5-4. Off-speed pitch by Abigail Curfey, who is pitching with the lead for the 2nd time today. Had a 2-1 lead after 2 innings, now a 5-4 lead after 3. First pitch misses, ball 1. Kilgore 5, Northeast Texas 4. And that is going to be a shot that'll come into center field for a base hit. Seabury looked like she got a good bat on it. Then the ball sort of died in the air and fell to the ground, but that's okay. She's still on base. So a single by Seabury. That makes her 1 for 2 for the ball game to lead off the 4th inning. Next up to bat is going to be Remington Metter for the Eagles. Metter hitting from the right-hand side. Metter hit into a fielder's choice back in the 2nd inning. Reached on a fielder's choice, rather. First pitch is going to miss, ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Metter, but Curfey with a 5-4 lead. Pitching with a 5-4 lead. Here's the next delivery by the right-hander. That's going to be a foul toward the backstop on a bunt attempt. And that'll put the count even at a ball and a strike. So again, Curfey 3-6 on the year. Coming into today's action, according to our latest stats from Region 14. That pitch hung high and went outside, 2-1 the count. Metter will foul this one, and that'll go off the very tall backstop. Stays in the park. Count is at 2-2 to Metter. Camacho's on deck for Northeast Texas. Rangers up 5-4. Count is at 2-2. Here's the next pitch on the way. And that is going to just miss, so the count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. That's going to be a pop-up. It ended up going out of play over the left shoulder and onto the awning where some fans are staying out of the sun. So 3-2, the count remains to Remington Metter. Again, Metter in game 1 of the doubleheader came on as a pinch hitter. Was 1 for 1, had a single and a ground out. Here's the delivery on the way by Curfey. And Metter's going to strike this one into left field. Newville with a great catch! Running for left center field, and Newville sticks the glove out with the right hand and makes the grab as she fell down. 1 out. Newville with a great catch. And Seabury had a hold at first. What a shot, what a play by Mary. So 1 out. Here's the delivery. And that's going to be a ball. Just missing 1-0 the count. One and 0 the count to the next hitter for Northeast Texas, Camacho. She'll foul this one away to make the count even at 1-1. So 1-1 to Camacho. Left-handed hitter, Camacho popping out to third base. Back in the second inning. That ended the second inning of play for Northeast Texas. That's going to be a bouncer towards second. Andrade picks it up. And does she make the tag? Yeah, she was able to make the tag on Seabury running to second. So Seabury is forced out. That's out number 2. However, Camacho reaches first on what would be the fielder's choice. So 2 down with Camacho at first and back to the top of the order, and it is Presley Lynn Barraza hitting from the left-hand side. She's 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored in game 2 of this doubleheader. It's the first pitch on the way, and that is a foul down the third baseline. One the count to Presley Lynn Barraza. So total in this doubleheader today, Barraza has 4 hits. Had 2 hits in game number 1, a couple of singles, and then 2 hits and a 2 runs scored in game 2. So a very productive afternoon for Presley Lynn Barraza. Here's the next delivery on the way. And the throw to second to try to cut down the runner, and that won't make it. And in fact, it'll go into center field. Here comes the throw to third, and that won't make it either. So Camacho ends up with a couple of stolen bases there. Stole second, the ball got away into the outfield, and then stole third. So Camacho all the way over to third with her speed. Has 2 stolen bases in this inning. In game 1 of the doubleheader, Camacho had 2 stolen bases in the second, and then another one in the fourth. Pitch missing high makes the count of 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 down, 5-4 lead for Kilgore in the top of the 4th inning. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a shot that'll fall in front of the left fielder Newville for a base hit. And we're tied at 5 apiece. NTCC gets the run. All right, the umpire has called coach out for something. All right, so they're going to take the run away. Camacho will end up having to go back to third base now. Barasa would have had the single, but instead the umpire says that when she hit the ball, her foot was in front of the plate, so that means she was out of the batter's box. So it's 2-2 with 2 down. They're going to give her a do-over, basically. Some people in the crowd are saying that should be an out. Now it's 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 down. So Camacho's back at third. So it should be no run for Northeast Texas. It should be 5-4. Then Barasa will foul this one out of play. Make it 2-2.
There we go!
And that's it.
Let's go!
The crowd was right this time as Barasa was called out, stepping out of the batter's box. And that's going to retire the side. So Barasa called out, stepping out of the batter's box to end the inning. So for Northeast Texas in the 4th inning, no runs. On 1 base hit, no Kilgore errors, and 1 person left on base. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. So we have played 3.5 innings, and it is still 5-4. Kilgore with the lead over Northeast Texas. We'll come back after this break on the Kilgore College Sports Network.
Passing the competition by leaps and bounds. The team of world-class specialists at Christus Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute are experts in caring for bones, joints, and muscles. In addition to treatment, they also provide special programs designed to keep you in optimal shape and improve athletic performance. So whether you're a student athlete or a weekend warrior, they'll keep you at the top of your game. Christus Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute, taking orthopedic care a step further.
And here we go. It's a strike call to the Kilgore hitter as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning, and that is going to be Baxter. So it's the top of the order for Kilgore, Baxter, Barr, and Morphus, as the Ranger lead is at 5-4 again. That is a foul off the backstop to make it 0-2. To wrap up the 4th inning, as we're going to the bottom of the 4th inning, I should say. To wrap that up, Barasa. Baxter with a swing and a miss, and she goes down on 3 pitches. So 1 down as Strange comes on. She came on in relief in the 3rd inning and gets a strikeout of Baxter to start the 4th. Here's the pitch, and Barr will pop this one up, and that'll be caught by the first baseman, Netter, for out number 2. So 2 kickouts for Kilgore here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Now coming up to bat, it's going to be Katrina Morphus. So again, when this inning is over, we'll update you on what happened on the bottom of the 4th, or at the top of the 4th, rather. First pitch ends up being a strike. Here's the next pitch to Katrina Morphus, who's up to deck now, up to the plate now. That should be an even count of 1-1 now to Katrina Morphus. Scoreboard's a little bit off. They're trying to fix some numbers on that here. Here's the next pitch. And that one is going to be a ball. Morphus awaiting the delivery from Strange. Here's the delivery. And that's going to be ball 4. So, scoreboard was a little bit off, and the pitching went on, and Morphus ends up drawing a walk. I think a pitch that was called a strike, that was labeled as a strike, was actually a ball. So Morphus, anyway, will walk and she'll be at first with 2 down now, and that will bring up Lauren Minitree, who has 2 singles and 2 runs scored. There's a swing and a miss, a strike by Lauren. So Morphus at first on a walk with 2 outs. Kilgore with the lead, 5-4. That's going to be a ball. That'll make the count even at 1-1. Here's the next pitch on the way now to Minitree from Strange. Off-speed pitch, and that catches the inside corner. Beautiful pitch by Strange. I thought Minitree might have swung at that one, but let it go by. That was a good job by Strange. And the count is at 1-2 now. Here's the next pitch to Minitree, and she'll get this one into right field. It's over the head of the first baseman into right field for the base hit. Short right field, so everybody will stop. Minitree will have her 3rd hit of the ball game. She is 3 for 3 today. Morphus moves on over to second after the walk with 2 down. And here is Brianna Theus up to bat. Okay, what do we have coming up here for Kilgore? We have a change. Yeah, Kilgore is going to put in a courtesy runner. And so for Kilgore, courtesy runner comes in for Morphus. It's going to be Jada Parker. She's a freshman out of Fort Worth. Jada Parker will come in to run for Morphus. Pitch is inside and low, 1-0 the count to Theus. Theus with a sacrifice in the 2nd inning and then drew a walk and knocked in a run with a walk in the 3rd. Here's the pitch. There's a strike, making the count even at 1-1. Rangers with a 5-4 lead over Northeast Texas. 1-1 the count with 2 down. Here's the pitch. And that one misses, making it 2-1. So Theus waiting. Here comes the pitch. And that'll miss to make it 3-1 now. Rangers have runners on 1st and 2nd. It is Parker now at 2nd, running for Morphus, and Minitree at 1st with 2 outs in the inning. Rangers split a doubleheader in Bossier on Wednesday. Looking to get the split here at home on Sunday. There's a strike to make the count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's a delivery. And Brianna bounces this one. 2nd, 1st, and that'll end the inning. Seabury got it over to Metter at 1st to retire the side, so that's a 4-3 to end the inning. Metter bobbled it after the catch, but she already made the catch and stepped on the bag to retire the side. So for Kilgore, in the bottom of the 4th inning, no runs, 1 base hit for the Rangers, no errors by the Eagles, and 2 runners left on base. So we have played 4 complete innings for the ballpark at KC Commons, and it is 5-4. Kilgore with the lead over Northeast Texas Community College. We'll come back after this on the KC Sports Network.
Passing the competition by leaps and bounds. The team of world-class specialists at Christus Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute are experts in caring for bones, joints, and muscles. In addition to treatment, they also provide special programs designed to keep you in optimal shape and improve athletic performance. So whether you're a student athlete or a weekend warrior, they'll keep you at the top of your game. Christus Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute, taking orthopedic care a step further.
As we head to the top of the fifth inning, and the Rangers holding a 5-4 lead over Northeast Texas, leading it off for NTCC. It will be Maya Pardue. And the next pitch to her is a ball, so she is ahead in the count at 2-0. So at the end of the fourth inning for Northeast Texas, Presilyn Barasa was called out because she stepped out of the batter's box in front of home plate and then hit the ball. And once you step out of the batter's box and make contact, you're called out. And that's what she did, and then she was called out. The Kilgore fans were saying that happened pitch before that, but either way it goes, she got caught that time, and that ended the fourth inning for Northeast Texas. Rangers have a 5-4 lead going into the top of the fifth inning with Northeast Texas batting. And there's the pitch to Pardue. That's called a strike to make it 3-1. So no runs for Northeast Texas in the fourth inning. Had another run called back because of that. Ball 4. So Pardue takes the walk. Hit by Barasa. That would have knocked in Camacho. Ended up being ruled no hit because of Barasa stepping out of the batter's box before that. And this time it's going to be an out on a stolen base attempt by Pardue. She is caught stealing. Great job by the Rangers that time. On the 2-6. Minitre to Baxter. That's one down, and here is Lilian Barasa, the catcher, who's 0 for 2 today. First pitch to her was a ball. Pardue couldn't get the steal on that one. Thus, the out. Caught stealing there. Good throw up, Minitre to Baxter. So 2-0 the count now to the hitter, Barasa. Here's the delivery. This one's going to be popped up. That's going to go over our head and out of play. Our heads, meaning me and then the people around me. So 2 balls and a strike with 1 down. Rangers holding on to the lead in game 2, having lost game 1 of the doubleheader by a final score of 7-2. And that's going to be a shot into center field by Barasa. Tracked down by Ramirez. And that is out number 2. Good hit by Lilian Barasa, but a nice job by Julissa Ramirez to track it down. So Kilgore lost game 1, 7-2. Here's Alyssa Maynor now for Northeast Texas. Here's the delivery by the right-hander Curfy. Maynor getting the off-speed pitch and putting it on the ground into center field for the base hit. So Maynor with a single. 2 down. That'll bring up Finn Cannon, who had a 2-run home run in the 3rd inning. Total of 3 runs scored in the 3rd by Northeast Texas. Kilgore counter with 3 in the bottom of the 3rd inning to regain the lead. And Finn Cannon's first attempt is fouled out of play, 1-1 the count. Here's the next pitch to Finn Cannon. Golfing this one, foul. 3rd base side. That'll put her behind at 0-2. Yeah, so Finn Cannon had 4 home runs, tied with Barasa for the home run leadership for Northeast Texas, and then takes the lead with a 5th home run. And with those 2 RBIs, now has 17. Lilian Barasa leads Northeast Texas with 26 RBIs. To the count to Finn Cannon with 2 down. The Rangers up 5-4. Maynor's at first for Northeast Texas. That one is into the ground. Throw back. And getting back is Maynor quickly. So 1-2 is the count. There's a pitch to Fincannon, who laces it foul third base side. And count is still at 1-2. That was a good hard shot by Fincannon. Pitch is now a ball, making it 2 balls and 2 strikes. That pitch was a ball, I should say. I think the fans were wanting a little bit different call than that. Swing and a miss by Fincannon, and that'll retire the side. So Fincannon goes down on strikes to end the inning for Northeast Texas in the top of the 5th inning. No runs. A base hit for the Eagles. No errors. And 2 runners left on base. Purdue reached on a walk. Well, she was caught stealing, so just 1 runner left on base. So we have played 4.5 innings from the ballpark at Casey Commons. The Rangers maintaining a 5-4 lead over Northeast Texas. We'll come back after this break on the Kilgore College Sports Network.
Whether you're a competitive athlete ready to up your game, or a busy professional trying to get back into the swing of things, or a little pitcher with a big arm, with advanced diagnostic tools and a comprehensive biomechanics lab, Baylor Scott & White Texas Spine and Joint Sports Medicine provides you access to a top-tier facility, a seasoned staff of medical experts, and the trust of over 30 local sports teams. Get your season started right with physician-owned Baylor Scott & White Texas Spine and Joint Hospital.
As we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, up to bat for Kilgore, it is Mary Newville. Newville, Ramirez, and Andrade, the projected order for Kilgore in the bottom of the 5th inning. Rangers holding a 5-4 lead over Northeast Texas. Newville is 1 for 2 today. First pitch, she fouled on a bunt attempt to the backstop. Next pitch is a ball, so the count's even at 1-1. Strange is in the circle for Northeast Texas. Next pitch is into the ground, and that'll make the count at 2 balls and a strike. Here's the delivery. That's going to be a shot that'll be foul, first base side. Newville pulled it a bit too much, otherwise that would have been down the line, and she would have had extra bases. Count is at 2-2 now to Mary Newville. Strange entered the ball game when it was a tie at 4. Newville will bounce it to first, and it's off the glove of Metter and into right field for the base hit. That would have been a tough backhand for Metter. We're going to give Newville a single for that one. That's her second hit. She's 2 for 3 today. And here's Jaleesa Ramirez, the center fielder, who has 1 for 2, reached on a single, had a single and an RBI in the second inning, reached on a fielder's choice in the third. Here's the pitch. And there's a bunt. Nice job by Ramirez. Everybody's going to be safe. Newville is hanging off the bag at second, but there's nobody there for Strange to throw to. Now finally charging in from center fielder is Camacho from center field. Newville steps back on the bag. So you have Newville at second, Ramirez at first. Give her the bunt single. And now here's Andrade, the second baseman, who has 2 RBIs today on a sac fly and a single. Nobody out, 2 runners on for Kilgore. Bunt by Andrade, and that goes foul. 1-1 the count to Jordan. Rangers with a 5-4 edge. Here's the next delivery on the way. And that's going to be a pop-up. And it'll catch the roof of the first base dugout. The roof before the backstop, the netting. 0-2 the count to Andrade. Nobody out. Runners at first and second for Kilgore. Rangers up 5-4. The pitch. Off-speed pitch. Andrade gets it into center field for the base hit. Newville had to hold up to see what's going to be caught. And the throw gets away from the third baseman. Newville will score. And the Rangers take a 6-4 lead. So Camacho came up on the ball quickly, so Newville had to hang on because she thought it was going to be caught. And then when it hit in front of Camacho, Newville had to scamper to third, and Camacho's throw got away from the third baseman, Fincannon, and that will allow Newville to score. So it's a base hit by Andrade. Ramirez ends up at second. Gallegos up to bat now for Kilgore. She puts the bunt down, and it goes foul. Diving attempt by the catcher. Lillian Barasa couldn't get to it. Andrade will end up with a single. Needville scores on the error. It'll be E8 on the throw that got away from the third baseman, Fincannon. Here's the pitch. And Gallegos pulls back on a bunt attempt to make the count even at 1-1. But Ramirez at second. Andrade is at first. Actually, the ladies moved up. Ramirez to third, Andrade to the second. That was after the error by Camacho. So the runners in scoring position. Gallegos sends this one into left field, and the ball is caught for the out. Nice job by the left fielder. However, a run scores for Kilgore College. Pardue makes the grab, chasing it down toward the fence, but Gallegos gets the sacrifice fly. RBI. Ramirez comes in to score. The Rangers have played at 2 and now lead it by a count of 7-4. Andrade ends up holding up at second base, so there's one out. With a runner at second for Kilgore. Gallegos gets the RBI, and Baxter is being pinch hit for now. First pitch is a ball to Edelyn Barrios. She's a freshman out of Houston, Texas. So 22 comes in to pinch hit for Baxter. So 2-0 the count to Edelyn Barrios for Kilgore College. It's her first at bat of the ball game. Rangers on top 7-4, scoring 2 in this inning. Here's the pitch. And Barrios will nub this one up in the air. That'll be fielded by Seabury for out number 2. So Barrios, the pinch hitter, pops out to second. And now pinch hitting for Barr. It's going to be Lexi Perez. Lexi Perez out of League City. She ended up pinch hitting in game 1 of the doubleheader. Now she's pinch hitting in game 2. So 2 pinch hitters in a row by Coach Williams. Swing and a miss, strike 1. It was not tipped. The pitch was high. Pettis was swinging at a high pitch. That got away from the catcher, Barrios, and that'll be a pass ball. Not Barrios, but Barasa. A pass ball will move the runner, Andrade, over to third. Pettis fouls this one off the backstop, and that'll be 0-2. 2 down in the inning. Lexi Pettis is the pinch hitter. Here's the delivery. That one is low to make it 1-2. Andrade is at third base. Here's the next delivery. That one will go into the ground to make it a 2-2 count with the Rangers on top 7-4. Again, 2 down in the bottom of the 5th inning. Kilgore's played it 2 more. And Perez will pop this one up. And it falls in for a base hit in the short right center field. Metter couldn't get to it. And Pettis ends up getting a single into the outfield. It was a floater that nobody could catch up to. Again, kind of a hit 'em where it ain't type of thing. And the Rangers now lead at 8-4. So Lexi ends up with an RBI single. And we'll have a courtesy runner for her. And that is going to be Lexi Barr. So Barr actually, who Pettis was hitting for, now comes back in to run for Pettis. Andrade ended up scoring from third. And the Ranger lead is 8-4 now. So Barr was pinch hit for by Pettis, and then after Pettis got the single into short left center field, make it right center field. Metter couldn't catch up to it. Barr comes back in to pinch run for her. In the meantime, the third pitcher into the lineup for Northeast Texas today, and that is going to be Madison Hester, a freshman. So number 25, Madison Hester, comes in to pitch. And Katrina Morphus will come up to bat for Kilgore. So Strange is out of the ball game now. Here's the pitch by Hester. And Morphus will get this one into left field. That's going to fall in front for a base hit. And Morphus will be at first, and then hanging at second is going to be Barr. So the hit parade continues now for Kilgore. Here comes Lauren Minitree now, the catcher who has 3 singles. She is 3 for 3 in game 2 of the doubleheader with 2 runs scored. 8-4 lead for Kilgore. Here's the pitch to Lauren. And that one will miss. Low and inside, 1-0 the count. Hester, a right-handed pitcher for Northeast Texas. Swing and a miss by Lauren. And that puts the count even at 1-1. Hester has a 2.63 ERA, no wins, no losses. This is their 6th appearance this season. She has 1 game started. She has pitched 2.2 innings, given up 6 hits, 1 run. It was earned, walking 1 and striking out 1. So limited duty this year for Madison Hester. And that pitch is going to miss to make the count 3-1. 2 outs in the inning. The Rangers have runners at first and second, leading 8-4. 3 runs in for Kilgore. And Minitree fouled it off of the mask of the home plate umpire. And one of the folks in the stands asked if he was okay, and he said sure he is. So he's doing fine. So 3-2 the count now. Here's the pitch now by Hester. On the way. And Minitree will foul this one off. Right field. Couldn't curve it back in. So the count holds at 3-2 with 2 down for Lauren Minitree. Here's the delivery by Hester. And that's going to miss. Ball 4, and the bases are full. Minitree has been on base all 4 times she has strolled to the plate. So Barr is at third. Morphus at second. Minitree at first. And here is Brianna Theus. First pitch is down, ball 1. Hester has the mask on for protection. Rangers with the sacks full, leading 8-4. Here's the next pitch. That's into the ground for ball 2. Two runs in the second for Kilgore, 3 in the third, and 3 here in the fifth. That'll be a strike at the knees to make it 2 balls and a strike with 2 down. So Brianna Theus at the plate, a base hit for her. Will help the Rangers out. Pump up the lead, up by 4 right now, 8-4. Time called. Here we go, the pitch by Hester. That one misses high. The count goes to 3 balls and a strike. So 3 balls and a strike to Hester. Here comes the pitch by Madison. That's into the ground, ball 4. And that will walk in Lexi Barr from third base. Rangers tack on another run and lead it now 9-4. Morphus the third, Minitry for second. And Theus with a base on balls gets the RBI. She's at first base now. So the Rangers have batted around. Newville, who started the inning with a single, ended up scoring, is now up to bat. And that pitch misses high. 1-0 the count. Time called as Coach Williams is going to, I think, go to the bench again and come in for a courtesy runner, or put in a courtesy runner, I should say. And coming in for Minitry is Ava Martin. So Coach emptying the bench here on sophomore day. So Martin comes in as a courtesy runner for Minitry here. Minitry at second, Morphus at third, Theus at first. Newville up to bat for the second time this inning. Pitch misses high, it's 2-0. So Hester with the delivery. Into the ground. Now the count is at 3-0 to Hester. Well, the Rangers sending 10 batters to the plate here in the bottom of the fifth inning. There's going to be a strike to make it 3-1. Ranger lead is 9-4 with 2 outs. Here's the next pitch. Into the ground, ball 4. Make it 10-4. Newville on base for the second time in this inning. Morphus comes home from third. Martin will go to second. Martin will go to third. Theus to second. Newville's at first, and she'll get the RBI with a walk-in. So 10-4 lead now for Kilgore. And we'll have a circle visit here by the catcher as Lillian Barasa. We'll have a conversation with Hester for a moment, trying to settle her down. It's been a rough go for the pitchers of Northeast Texas in game number 2. Hester's the third pitcher for NTCC. Here is Jaleesa Ramirez. That pitch comes in for a strike. 0-1 is the count. It's a 10-run rule after 5 innings, or 8-run rule after 5 innings. The Rangers lead it by 6, 10-4. So base hit here by Ramirez could wrap things up. 1-1 the count with 2 down. Here's the pitch. And Ramirez will put this one into center field, but Camacho will come and squeeze the glove around it to retire the side. Well, that will end the inning for Kilgore College. But the Rangers here in the bottom of the 5th inning put 5 runs on the scoreboard. 5 runs for the Rangers on 5 base hits, and all of those base hits were singles. One big error by Northeast Texas that allowed a run to score and runners to advance. And Kilgore College ended up leaving the bases full. 5 runs, 5 hits, 1 error, 3 left on base. So we have played 5 complete innings from Kilgore. It's the Rangers 9 and Northeast Texas 4. We'll come back right after this on the Kilgore College Sports Network.
Whether you're a competitive athlete ready to up your game, or a busy professional trying to get back into the swing of things, or a little pitcher with a big arm, with advanced diagnostic tools and a comprehensive biomechanics lab, Baylor Scott & White Texas Spine & Joint Sports Medicine provides you access to a top-tier facility, a seasoned staff of medical experts, and the trust of over 30 local sports teams. Get your season started right with physician-owned Baylor Scott & White Texas Spine & Joint Hospital.
As we head to the 6th inning, leading it off now for Northeast Texas, it will be Conley Zachary, followed by Seabury and Meadow. 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Zachary, first pitch swinging, will foul it out of play. 0-1 the count. As Kerf is still in the circle. Abigail Kerfy for Kilgore College, having gone all the way. Here's the next pitch by Kerfy. And that's going to be a pop-up coming up and making the grab from third base is Theus, calling the players off for the first out. Nice job by Theus. That's 1 down as Zachary pops out to third. Seabury now comes to bat, playing second base in game 2 of the doubleheader. Winning pitcher in game 1. She's 1 for 2 in this game with a single in the 4th inning and a pop out in the 2nd. Here's the first pitch. And that'll come in as a ball, 1-0 the count. Seabury hitting from the right-hand side. Off speed comes in, and that's going to miss, however, just high to make it 2-0. Nice sunny day here in Kilgore. Off speed, catches the inside part of the plate to make it a 2-1 count. Kerfy sticking with the game plan, does a great job of painting the corners, mixing the fastball with the off-speed pitch. Here's the next pitch to Seabury, and that will miss, making it 3-1. Seabury as a hitter is a .253 hitter for Northeast Texas. 1 home run with 9 runs batted in. Has walked 10 times, struck out 7 coming into this game. Here's the pitch. And she's going to pop this one up in the left field. Newell's going to give chase to it toward the line and makes the grab for the out. So Seabury flies out to Newville in left field for out number 2. And here is Metter, the first baseman. Metter 0 for 2 today. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd and then a fly out in the 4th inning. So hasn't recorded a hit in game number 2. In game number 1, she did have a single in that contest. And she'll stroke this one off the glove of Baxter, and it'll go into left field for the base hit. And what we call it a base hit or an error is Baxter was trying to get to it. Went off her glove as she was falling down. That will be an E6 on Baxter. So Baxter with an error. And now Camacho will come to bat. Camacho hits a grounder to Kerfy, and that will retire the side as Kerfy gets Camacho to ground out 1-3. We're going to change the Metter scoring to a base hit. Again, Baxter was having a dive for that one, got a glove on it, but couldn't get to it. Nonetheless, for Northeast Texas in the top of the 6th inning, no runs, 1 base hit, no Kilgore errors, 1 left on base. 5.5 in the books, and the Ranger lead is 10-4 over Northeast Texas Community College. We'll come back right after this on the Kilgore College Sports Network.
This is what we've been waiting
Whether it is in our drive-thru or in our dining room, it'll always be our pleasure at Chick-fil-A to give you the best dining experience possible.
So back for the bottom of the sixth inning, Madison Hester, freshman pitcher, right-hander, returns. Came on in relief in the fifth inning for Hester. She is the third pitcher to appear in today's game, number 2 for Northeast Texas. In that fifth inning, the Rangers scored 5 runs and batted around. So it will be coming to the plate here in the sixth inning, Jordan Andrade. Second baseman will lead it off, followed by Jasmine Gallegos, and then it will be Baxter, Alyssa Baxter. So Andrade has 3 RBIs today, 2 singles, and a sacrifice fly, and a run scored. 10-4 lead for Kilgore. Here's Hester. Here's the wind and the delivery, and Andrade fouls it out of play. So the count is 0-1 to Andrade. Next pitch will miss. Count evens up at 1-1. Andrade will stroke this one into center field, but right at Camacho for out number 1. So that'll bring up Jasmine Gallegos for Kilgore. Gallegos with an RBI sacrifice fly in that big fifth inning. Also has a fly out to center field and unassisted to third base. Ended up being a force out. And here's the first pitch. And that's going to be a foul out of play. And actually we have a change. That's Sarah Bradley, a freshman from Livonia, who comes in to hit for Gallegos. So number 12, Bradley is in. Pinch hitting for Gallegos. This will be Bradley's first at bat of the doubleheader. Pitch missing, makes the count even at 1-1. Rangers with a 6-run advantage. Here's the next pitch coming up, and that's going to be a grounder, and it is off of the shortstop. Over to first, not in time. Bradley, oh, they're going to call her out. Oh, they're going to call her out. Zachary got away with one as she bobbled the ball, couldn't handle it cleanly, but still was able to make the throw in time, and Coach Amber Williams is going to come out and have a word with the base umpire. They're going to say that Bradley was out, but everybody else is going to say she's safe. Bradley staying on the bag right now. And they're going to call her out. So Bradley grounds out 6-3, and that pretty much saves the shortstop, Zachary, because Zachary bobbled that ball, and that was going to allow the runner to get to first. Saves an error, really, is what it does. All right, so Coach Amber Williams is not in the third base coaching box anymore. I wonder if she ended up giving the heave-ho. So Coach Williams is no longer coaching third base. So I wonder, and I didn't see the call, writing something down on the stat sheet, if Amber got tossed or not. And that's going to be a strike call to Alyssa Baxter. 0-1 the count with 2 down. And And that gets the KC dugout fired up now. Here's the next pitch. And that's going to be a ball, making the count even at 1-1.
She was a step and a half in front of him.
Next pitch will miss low, and that'll make the count 2-1. So 2-1 the count now with 2 down in the inning. Here's the pitch, and that's going to hit Baxter.
Ball don't laugh! Ball don't laugh!
Baxter ends up going to first base on the hit by pitch with 2 down. And that will bring up Lexi Barr, and now Madison Hester will be visited by Tanise Tyson. Well, lots of activity going on. And I do believe that coach has been tossed. And Kilgore's assistant coach has taken over at third base. That will be Emily Brown. So Emily Brown, the assistant, has taken over at third base for Kilgore College with 2 down in the inning. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a strike call. Up to bat for Kilgore College is Cameron Milam. So Milam is now batting for Lexi Barr. Rangers have a runner at first. That's Alyssa Baxter. Next pitch misses. Even count of 1-1. So Milam now pinch hitting for Barr. That next pitch misses, and the count is at 2-1. So 2 down, 2 balls, 1 strike. Rangers up 10-4. And that's going to be a pop-up foul. And the count will now be 2 balls and 2 strikes. So again, Amber Williams is not in the third base coaching box anymore. I believe she might have been tossed. I didn't see an official signal, but she did have some words for the base umpire. That's into the ground. That'll be 3-2 the count. So Milam for Kilgore College. Cameron is from Tatum, Texas, a freshman. Here's the delivery by Hester. And that's going to be a pop-up by Milam. It'll go into center field. Camacho has a beat on it. She'll make the grab, and that will retire the side. So the Rangers are retired in the 6th inning. No runs for Kilgore. No hits. Although the Rangers did have 1 runner reach on hit by pitch. That would have been Baxter. No errors. And 1 left on base. So we have played 6 complete innings for the ballpark at Casey Commons. It's the Rangers 10 and the Eagles 4. We'll take this break as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Coming up after this on the KC Sports Network.
All across East Texas and around the world, former Kilgore College students are working hard for their best life. They're building a brighter future. They're moving in the right direction. They're in powerful positions. And they're superheroes protecting and serving. If you're ready to work for your best life, put Kilgore College to work for you.
All right, we're to the top of the 7th inning. The Rangers holding a 10-4 lead over Northeast Texas, trying to get a split of this doubleheader. As Presley Lynn Barasa, the designated player, will come to bat to lead off the 7th inning for Northeast Texas. At the top of the order, Presley Lynn Barasa, Purdue, and Lillian Barasa. First pitch by Curfew is a ball, trying to go for another complete game victory at home at the KC Commons. That's going to be a shot by Barasa in left field. Newville's going to call for it to make the grab for the first out of the inning. One down for Newville. Next up to bat is going to be Pardue. First pitch to her is a ball. I want to know the count to Maya Pardue. Curfey's next delivery is on the way. And that's going to be a pop-up. That'll go into foul territory. Theus giving chase and makes the grab for out number 2. Getting close to the fence, but Theus is able to go and make the grab for the second out of the inning. So one more out here for the Rangers to try to get the split of this doubleheader. And first pitch comes in for a strike by Curfey. 0-1 the count as she's facing Lillian Barasa now. Rangers winning 10-4, trying to get the split. Waiting for the next pitch. Here it comes. And that's going to be a pop-up by Barasa. That's going to go into left field. Newville makes the grab, and that'll retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for Northeast Texas in the top of the 7th inning. And that'll wrap it up from the ballpark at Casey Commons for game number 2 of the doubleheader. The final score in game number 2, the Kilgore College Rangers 10 and the Northeast Texas Community College Eagles 4. The Rangers earned the split of the doubleheader this afternoon at the ballpark at Casey Commons. We will take this break as we head to our Rangers softball postgame show. We'll add up the numbers, come back and give them to you, and wrap it up from the ballpark on a Sunday afternoon. The Rangers 10 and the Eagles 4 splitting the doubleheader today at the ballpark at Casey Commons.
This is what we've been waiting for. At the dawn of forevermore, we can stand on this ground so
Whether it is in our drive-thru or in our dining room, it'll always be our pleasure at Chick-fil-A to give you the best dining experience possible.
Whether you're a competitive athlete ready to up your game, or a busy professional trying to get back into the swing of things, or a little pitcher with a big arm. With advanced diagnostic tools and a comprehensive biomechanics lab, Baylor Scott & White Texas Spine & Joint Sports Medicine provides you access to a top-tier facility, a seasoned staff of medical experts, and the trust of over 30 local sports teams. Get your season started right with physician-owned Baylor Scott & White Texas Spine & Joint Hospital.
All across East Texas and around the world, former Kilgore College students are working hard for their best life. They're building a brighter future. They're moving in the right direction. They're in powerful positions. And they're superheroes protecting and serving. If you're ready to work for your best life, put Kilgore College to work for you.
And welcome back to the ballpark at KC Commons. The final score, the Kilgore College Rangers 10 and the Northeast Texas Community College Eagles 4 in game 2 of the doubleheader. Splitting in the Twin Bowl this afternoon in Kilgore as Northeast Texas took the first game by a final count of 7-2. For the Rangers to win it, 10 runs on 14 hits, committing 1 error. That would actually be a Northeast Texas error, so 10 runs on 14 hits, no Kilgore College errors, and 9 runners left on base. For Northeast Texas Community College, 4 runs on 8 hits with 1 error and 5 runners left on base. Again, for the Rangers, 10 runs, 14 hits, no errors, 9 left. For Northeast Texas, 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, and 5 left on base. Winning pitcher for Kilgore College, Abigail Curfey. Curfey going all the way for the Rangers this afternoon, again giving up a total of 4 runs on 8 hits. Curfey also ended up with 3 strikeouts in the contest. She did walk 1 batter. Overall, a very solid performance by Abigail Curfey with 2 walks recorded for her. Again, pitching 7 complete innings. Curfey giving up 8 hits, 4 runs, walking 2, and striking out 3 in the contest today. Very solid effort by her, and of course, backed well by the Ranger defense. Curfey's record will improve now to 4-6 on the season, and the loss will go to Sawyer Strange for Northeast Texas. Came into the ball game, gave up the lead, and Kilgore ended up rolling from there. So Strange will fall to 1-7 on the season for Northeast Texas Community College. So the Rangers get the doubleheader split today to keep themselves intact into what's going on in Region 14. Again, the Rangers will now be 6-10 in conference play and 14-34 overall. Northeast Texas falls to 3-13 in conference and 11-35 overall. Kilgore is in 5th place in the North Division. Again, behind Navarro College, who is 7-7 in 4th place. You have to finish in the top 4 in your division to qualify for the regional tournament. So the Rangers, for the moment, on the outside looking in. So the split helps them to keep pace with Navarro College. Of course, there's some more season to play, but we'll see how the Rangers can do to get themselves into position. And in fact, on Wednesday, the 22nd, the Rangers end up going to Corsicana to take on Navarro in a doubleheader at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock at Navarro. It's a big doubleheader for Kilgore College. The Rangers will certainly need to make sure they get a sweep there. They've got to keep pace with Navarro right now. The Rangers with a win today, again, helping themselves out in the standings. With the win, Kilgore going to 6-10. And so in the win column, they're just a game behind Navarro. In the loss column, they're 3 behind. So if Kilgore can get a sweep and move up ahead in the win column, that would be a big help for the Rangers. Not trying to be obvious there, but pretty much that's what will help the Rangers' cause there. So for the Rangers, again, a big win today in Game 2 of the doubleheader, but there's still some more work to do. Next week for the Rangers at Navarro on April the 22nd, Wednesday at 1 and 3. Next Saturday at TJC, Tyler Junior College at 1 and 3:30 on Saturday the 25th. The next home game for Kilgore, which will be our next broadcast, will be on Wednesday, April the 29th, 1 o'clock and 3:30 start times. The Rangers taking on Trinity Valley Community College. We'll have that broadcast for you here on the KC Sports Network. And then the final game of the regular season, unless the weather messes things up, will be on Wednesday, May the 6th at 1 and 3:30. Kilgore hosting Paris here at the Commons, and we'll have that broadcast for you on the KC Sports Network. It is sophomore day here at Kilgore College, so at this time we want to go ahead and turn up the crowd mic and hear the sophomores get recognized.
To the freshmen, just remember, you are more than how you perform on the field. It might not seem like it, but it will go by fast. Don't forget to have fun and enjoy everything. I love you all so much. To my teammates, thank you all for making these last 2 years so special no matter what. I knew I could lean on any of you, and I'm so grateful to have met each and every one. To the coaches, thank you for pushing me to be my best version of myself I can be. To my family, Haley and Matthew, thank y'all for always being with me, even if y'all don't realize it. You helped shape me into the person I am today. Mom, you have always supported me and believed in me no matter what. So thank you for everything you've done for me and helped me chase my dreams and being there for every single step of the way. Dad, you have seen so much. I love you sport since a very early age, and you have constantly pushed me to be the best that I can be. I can't thank you enough for everything. You sacrificed so much. I could do what I love. Lexi plans to apply to a radiology program, and that is number 2, Lexi Ball.
So Lexi Barr is the first Ranger
Number 5,
to be
Jordan
recognized. We
Jordan
continue
escorted by
now
her
with
parents,
Jordan Andrade.
Randy Bachelor, and her sister, Brinley Bachelor. Jordan will be graduating with an Associate of Arts and a 3.5 GPA. She has also been involved in a fellowship of Christian athletes. Her favorite memory at KC by far is the Eagle Tarp Pool last year, when she thought the rain couldn't come down any harder. To the freshmen, it really goes by fast when you think. Don't take a single moment for granted. There will be tough days, there will be tears, but don't let that stop you. Keep pushing through it all. It's part of the journey. Hold tight to the people around you, because they'll become your reason to keep going when things get hard. Jojo, I'm so thankful to you that you've come into my life. You have a way of lighting up every room and making me smile. Even on days I didn't feel like it. I'm going to miss you more than you know, having fun dragging the field without you next to me. And seriously, for the love of everything, do not touch the grass. I want to first thank God for the blessing with the ability. I want to thank God for blessing me with the ability to play the game with the people that I love, and the people who get to see me go through every high and every low. I'm so grateful to my parents for all the time, energy, and sacrifices they made to support me. None of this would be possible without you. To my sister, could have been anywhere else but you're here. That means more than I can put into words. I also want to thank my coaches for believing in me, giving me the opportunity to continue my softball career over these past 2 years. Because of you, I've grown not only as a player, but as a person. And I've met some of the most important people in my life. And to my friends, thank you for standing by me, especially on the days I feel like I couldn't keep going. Your support, encouragement, and belief in me helped me push through more than you'll know. Jordan's future plans are to attend a 4-year university and to obtain a bachelor's degree and become a second grade teacher. That is number 5, Jordan Bachelor. Next up is number 6, Alyssa Lou Baxter. Lou is escorted by her parents, Sean and Donna Baxter, and her brothers, Dylan and Quinn Baxter. She will be graduating with an Associate of Arts and a 3.7 GPA.
Now Alyssa Baxter.
When I try to think of my favorite memory here, it's hard to think of a specific memory that would be my favorite, because every day that I got to spend with my friends here was so special. And I will cherish memories we've made forever. To Mary, Jordan, and JoJo, and Lauren, I love you all so much. You were my why every day. To the freshmen, you only get 2 years here, and though it seems hard, get through it sometimes. When it comes to the end, I promise you won't forget your time. I wouldn't trade the memories and friendships I've made at Kilgore for anything. JoJo, even though we've only got 1 year together, you fit right into place with our group from the beginning. Throughout the year, we have grown such a strong friendship that I will forever be grateful for. I want to say thank you to my coaches, thank you to my parents, and for always supporting me throughout all my softball career, and thank you to my teammates for making it fun. After KC, Lou plans to attend a sonography school. Number 6, Alyssa Lou Baxter. Number 10, Dakara Anderson, or DK.
Dakara Anderson.
Damar and Edola Anderson, and her sisters, Denisha and Demira Anderson. She will be graduating with an Associate of Science and a 3.5 GPA. Her favorite memory has to be all the laughs in the dugout and the little moments that we spent outside of softball that made every practice and game fun. To the freshmen, thank you for making this year fun and reminding me why I love this game. Keep growing, competing, and supporting each other. I want to thank my coaches for believing in me, my teammates for becoming family, and my parents for always being my friend. This program has helped me grow so much, and I am truly grateful. After Casey, DK plans to transfer to a 4-year to continue her education in nursing and to continue playing softball. That is number 10, DK. Next up, number 11, Abigail Curfey. Curfey is escorted by her.
Here is Abigail Curfey, the complete game winner of this Game 2 of the doubleheader.
Associates of Arts and a 3.8 GPA. Her favorite memory is explaining that her first name isn't Kirby at the beginning of the year during our Get to Know Me presentations, or literally any of the random presentations throughout the year. To the freshmen, stay tough. The world keeps turning at the end of the day. And whatever you do, never say it could always get worse, because it could, in fact, get worse. Kirby wants to thank her amazing roommate, family, and team. At this time, she is currently undecided but hoping to continue her playing career. That is number 11, Abigail Kirby. Next up, number 13, Mary Newell. Mary is escorted by her parents, Tim and Ange Newell, and her brother, Nick Newell. She will be graduating with an Associates of Science and a 3.86 GPA. While at KC, Mary was named second team all-conference for Region 14 North. Her favorite memory is when Coach Dub made a bet that if she could hit a home run in 5 attempts, that the practice would be over. So she took that challenge on, and on the 5th swing, I robbed her of her home run and ended practice early. To the freshmen, slow down. Take every second in. It goes by a lot faster than you think. Make sure you cherish every moment with your friends, because those are the moments that will get you through life. I love each and every one of you, and I know the future has bright things ahead for all of you. Thank you for giving me a year I will always remember. I want to first thank God for giving me the opportunity to play the sport that I love with the people that I love. I also want to say thank you to my family. Without y'all, I would not be here today. Your love is unwavering and has been the rock that has held me steady my whole life. You have believed in me when nobody else has, and you have pushed me to be the best version of myself. I know that I think I'm all grown up now, but I will forever be your little girl. I also want to say thank you to the coaches for putting so much time and effort in me. You have always supported me on and off the field, and that doesn't go unnoticed. You have also given me sisters for life. I also want to say thank you to my girls, Luke, Jordan, Lauren, and DK. I have had the honor of growing up these past 2 years with you all. Each of you took me in and made me feel so seen and welcome when we first met. I cannot imagine a life without you all, and I'm so grateful that God has brought us together. We have so many memories that I will cherish, and it doesn't matter if we're 10 miles or 100 miles apart. Married plans after Casey are currently decided, and that is number 13, Mary Luther. Next up is number 15, Katrina Morphus. Katrina is escorted by her mom, Beth Morphus. She will be graduating with an Associates of Arts. Her favorite memory while at KC is playing tug of war. To the freshmen, thank you for all the good memories. I can't wait to see what the future holds, and good luck on your running test next year. Katrina wants to thank her teammates and coaches for always encouraging her and pushing her to do her best. After KC, Katrina plans to attend a 4-year university, and that is number 15, Katrina Morris. Number 16, Jasmine Galejos. Jasmine is escorted by her parents, Ruben Galejos and Elizabeth Pires. She will be graduating with an Associate of Applied Science and a 3.64 GPA. Her favorite memory is pulling tarp in the pouring rain. To the freshmen, appreciate these moments. You can learn so much from each other and the experiences you have here, the good and the hard times too. Thank you for making the sophomore year so special. I will never forget you guys, and I'm so blessed that I've met so many amazing people. I would like to thank my parents for sticking by my side. It hasn't always been easy, but I love you guys for always supporting me. I'd like to thank Coach Dub and Coach B for the past 2 years. I've changed so much and wouldn't be who I am today without y'all support. Jasmine's plans after KC are to continue her education at a 4-year university to get a master's and bachelor's degree in psychology. That is number 16, Jasmine Galejos. All right, stick with me here, folks. This is number 17, Alyssa Willie Castillo. Willie is escorted by her parents, Norman and Patricia Cockrell. She will be graduating with an Associate of Arts. Last year, she was honored to be named Kilgore College Softball MVP of the week after helping lead the team to 2 wins. She faced 59 batters during the first 2 wins and finished with a 1.0 ERA. This is a moment she will always be proud of. Her favorite memory from last year is when we had practice about 10 minutes before it started pouring rain. We had to rush to get the tarp on the field, but the rain came so fast that the whole field was soaked. The dirt turned into mud, people were slipping and falling everywhere, and we were all laughing at how crazy it was, and ended up getting in a lot of trouble for it. Eventually gave up, and practice got moved to the indoor cages, still soaking wet. We had to hit like nothing happened. It was chaotic, but it was one of those memories you'll never forget. I'll never forget. To the freshmen, I want to thank you all for making this season truly unforgettable. When I look back, it's not just the games or the wins I remember, it's the moments with you. The laughs, the inside jokes, the talks in the dugout, the little things that turned into memories I'll carry with me. You didn't just make the season fun, you made it meaningful. I'm grateful for the bonds we've built and for the way each of you impacted me. To Jada, thank you for being one of the easiest people to talk to, even on the days when I didn't know how to explain what I was feeling. Thank you for the outings and the advice and the moments you were. Thank you for the outings, the advice, the moments you didn't even realize how much you were helping me in just by being there. You have such a pure, beautiful personality, and you light up the room just by being here. It lifts up people, and don't ever let anyone take that away from you. You're going to do incredible things, and I'm blessed that I got to be a part of your journey this season. To Bree, thank you for being a person that can make me laugh even on the hardest days. And the way you yell out, "Domina can papi," every time I would ask you for a certain question. Those are the moments that kept the season fun. And thank you for letting me do my TikTok things. Even when I know you were probably tired of it, you never made me feel annoying, and that means something. You have such a bright future ahead, and I can't wait to see everything you're going to accomplish. You're truly one of a kind. Hashtag dog to mom and dad. Thank you for everything you sacrificed so I can chase my love for softball. The long drives, the weekends given up, the money, the time, the support. You've given me all of it without even asking for anything back. Thank you for believing in me, cheering me on, and loving me through every win and every mistake. I wouldn't be the player or the person I am without you. I love you both more than words. I also want to thank Coach Williams and Coach Lee for believing in me and allowing me to come to Kilgore, where I've had the chance to grow and meet all of these amazing people and teammates. I'm truly grateful for each of you and everything you've done for me. DK, thank you for the sweetest, kindest, most gentle soul in my life. Playing softball with you has meant more to me than you'll ever know. You're shy, but you have the biggest heart. And you've been there for me in every laugh and every tear. I'm so grateful God put you here in my life. And thank you for being my best friend. I love you more than you realize. Willie's plans after Casey are to continue her education and playing career. That is number 17, Elsa Willie Castillo. Next up is number 18, Lauren Minitry. Lauren is escorted by her parents, Amanda and Trey Vandenberg, and Ronnie and Nicole Minitry. She will be graduating with an Associates of Arts and a 3.9 GPA. Her favorite memory was pulling tarp off the field while it poured all over us. P.S. Coach Dub, it was, in fact, your fault. To the freshmen, please make most of your time here. The friendships you make here will be the ones you carry when you leave. To my catchers, bullpens won't last forever, and eventually you'll miss them. To Ava and Cam and Casey, y'all have something really special, but please calm down with the party scene. To Jada, you are loving and loyal. Don't ever stop being the wonderful person you are. To JoJo, I'm so happy I got to know you this year. I'm sad that we only got 1 year, but just know I would be bugging you for the rest of your life. To Bree, I can't believe I've gotten to play with you for as long as I have. I can't believe it's already over, but I'm lucky I've gotten another year with you. Thank you to all of my parents. Thank you to all of my parents for always supporting me and pushing me to do my best. Thank you to Mom, who has always videoed my bats and told me I did good even when I didn't. Thank you for the camps and hotels. Thank you for sitting through hours and hours of endless games, never complaining. Thank you to Nicole, who signed me up for all those years ago and has always pushed me to keep going. Thank you to my dad, who coached me through Little League and Select. Thank you for driving me to all my practices and tournaments. Thank you for buying every bat you ever made. Thank you to my coaches for being patient with me and showing up for me every day. Thank you, Coach B, for always being understanding and caring. Thank you, Coach Williams, for bringing me here so that I could meet the friends that will be in my life forever. Lauren's plans after KC are to attend UT Tyler and get her bachelor's degree. That is number 18, Lauren Minette. Next up is number 20, Lexi Pires. Lexi is escorted by her parents, Nathan and Rena Pires, and sisters, Chloe. She will be graduating with her Associates of Arts and a 3.8 GPA. Her favorite memory is the evil type pool and crashing out and getting ice cream with my roommate. To the freshmen, stay lidless. Hashtag KC Party continues. Love your KC Daddy, founding father. Thank you to my parents for sacrificing so much for me. Thank you to my grandparents who have always been my biggest supporters. My sister for being my best friend. Thank you to Miss Sonia, who is so sweet and has helped keep God at the center of my life. Thank you to my roommate, Kirby, for always being here for me. And I'd also like to thank myself and my KC bags. Lexi plans after KC are to get her bachelor's and become a sonographer. That is number 20, Lexi Pires. Next up, we have Emily Arnold. Emily is escorted by her parents, Brad and Nicole Arnold. Emily has served as a team manager for the last 2 years. She will be graduating with an Associates of Arts. To the freshmen, make most of every practice, every game, and every relationship you build here. Your time will come sooner than you realize. Her plans after Casey are to attend a university and pursue a degree towards teaching. That is Emily Arnold. And please give a round of applause for the 2026 sophomores.
And our Kilgore College sophomores recognized on this Sunday afternoon of April the 19th, 2026, for all of the things they have done to help this Ranger softball program, and helping today with a split of a doubleheader. Northeast Texas Community College took game one of the doubleheader by a final score of 7-2, but in game number two, the Rangers pulled it off with a 10-4 win over the Eagles. And with that, on sophomore day, we're wrapping up our broadcast of Kilgore College softball on this Sunday afternoon. Thanks, of course, to our coaches, Amber Williams and Emily Brown, for all of their support for today's ball game. Thanks as well to those of you who have been watching and listening wherever you're at on the Kilgore College Sports Network, following Ranger softball this season on our Kilgore College YouTube channel. So Kilgore College, again, the next two games for the Rangers will be at Navarro College on Wednesday, April the 22nd, doubleheader times 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock. On Saturday, April the 25th, two more games in a doubleheader at Tyler Junior College at 1 and 3:30. The Rangers return home for the final two doubleheaders of the regular season, barring rain changing the schedule. On Wednesday, April 29th, the Rangers will take on Trinity Valley Community College at 1 o'clock and 3:30 here at the ballpark at KC Commons. And then on Wednesday, May the 6th, concluding the season at 1 o'clock and 3:30 against Paris Junior College at home, again concluding the regular season. And we'll have the broadcast for both of those two final home doubleheaders on the Kilgore College Sports Network. Rangers still in a fight to get into the Region 14 tournament. They've got to make some moves to surpass Navarro College, who's in fourth place right now. The Rangers are in fifth. Again, that wraps up our broadcast. Once again, our final score, Northeast Texas 7, Kilgore College 2 in game number 1. In the nightcap, the Rangers 10 and the Eagles 4. For all of us at the Kilgore College Sports Network, this is Manny Almanza saying so long from the ballpark at KC Commons.